Hello everyone, Krydax here, and welcome back to pYanodon's Season 3. In this one, we're going to be seeing if we can actually improve our production here. The first thing I want to do is cut off the inputs. And give that a minute. Also, we've got access to stacked red belts, which is 120 items a second. That is nuts. That is nuts. So how much is this productivity going to help me? Well, we're going to get 20% more empty planters, which results in 44% more planters, which results in like 60% more auto science per stone brick. So these ingredients I'm going to be using a lot less of. These ones I use a little bit less of, and these ones I use a tiny bit less of. So we're saving just a little bit of flora, but we're saving a good amount of ash, and soil's free, so that's whatever. And we're saving a lot of stone brick and wood and iron. So that's actually really handy. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of work on removing all this bit by bit. I might do some hand deconstruction of all the crazy beltfuls of stuff. All right. Uh-oh. All right, get out of here. Get out of here. Oh, it just got so dark. Okay. I was also providing planter boxes to the network, it seems, in this spot. All right, so now we just need this guy, which fits pretty nicely right here, to be honest. I'm gonna build it out a little bit so I have room for belt spaghetti. So let's just do this, and then I'm gonna reorient this belt. To go along the front. And just in general, I guess, we need the belt to, like... What is going on here? I don't really know. I need to get rid of all these. There's too many belts. Okay, so... for flora purposes, this belt is getting added in with wood. These are all on one side, so that's 60 a second. This is a crap ton right here, which is what we'll use for science, I think. And that's up to 60 a second. So hopefully that's enough. Is that enough? Yeah, barely. That's crazy. So then I actually need, small parts are gonna be on a separate belt, maybe? Hold on, I haven't figured out how I'm doing this yet. So... let's see. So if we've got the belt coming in of flora, it could look like this. And then each building gets a loader. And then we've got the belt of small parts, which can just be like that. And that needs 1.55 a second, so we'll do a blue inserter for that. And then finally, we've got the output of 0.93, so yellow inserter should be good for a while. Do we ever get hand stack size 3? Or no? We do. In utility science, we get up to 3. That is a very, 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 very long time away. So instead, we will just do blue inserter here. Okay. So then this is good to go. I kind of want actually all of that to be like in line with the building like this. Okay. And then got another one, and then I should be able to do, yeah, one of those, and then that'll go on the other side. All right, I do need to fix this, or the AUGs are gonna stop happening, which is not good. So let's get that hooked back up. Okay, so that's plugged in. And we need the Flora belt, which is this one, to be hooked up. And then I need the biomass. Wait a second. This is going to cause issues. I didn't fully remember about biomass. Shoot. Oh no. How do I fix that? Okay. Ideas are forming. Now here's the thing. I don't actually know exactly how spoilage will work with loaders. I do think there's items on this belt. So I think what we do is this. And then this. Or no, sorry, it spoils into fluorospolenen, not biomass. We shouldn't ever see biomass. That shouldn't be possible. I say that, and it's like, well, what if this belt sits for 9 hours? So I guess we need to filter left on science instead. And then these need to filter blacklist on Flora. And that way we don't have to worry about which thing it's spoiled into. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, that's dealt with spoilage, and all fluorospolenen and biomass will end up on this belt, which need to get fed into this chest. This is also awkward. I guess if I just put this here, this fixes the problem a little bit. Okay. All right, so that fixes that. So that spoilage dealt with on that front. And nothing else spoils, so I don't have to worry about it. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Now. How are those bad boys up? How are those guys up? And Now we got to keep going. So small parts are already handled. They just need to go on this belt. Parts left. Okay. Perfect. And then iron plates. Wait, that's not gonna work. Okay. Iron plates are over here. Now, overall, how many small parts do we need? We're gonna need 9.31. So red belt upgrade's gonna be needed here. At least for the first few buildings. Probably need more iron as well. I might need to stack the iron. I'm not sure about that. We'll see what the rates end up being. Okay, so that's done. Now for these guys. So breaking it all down, we've got... See, this is where I really like PRCE as an alternative to Hellmod. Because when you're building this way, it just works so much better than max rate calc. And I didn't have to make all this in Hellmod. Because it's like, we would have needed to have made this in Hellmod originally, maybe, but like I already know all the things and we're just kind of building it bigger. And this helps us get all the right numbers and make sure we're okay in terms of rates and stuff. Like soil's gonna need to be stacked. Otherwise it won't work. Everything else can be on a red belt. Wood can be on half a red belt, iron can be on half a red belt. So we're good on that. So then... So iron can even be on half of a yellow belt, technically, but I think we'll just go for the other stuff. Okay, so why don't I figure this out? So soil and ash are going to be on 2 belts. Why don't I just move this over? That's kind of annoyingly placed. So soil and ash. What did we just say? I already forgot the numbers. So ash is just a red belt. Soil is a stacked belt. Probably 2 separate belts. Technically, they could be stacked halves of a red belt. That would simplify things. And how many stone bricks? 26. It would greatly simplify things if I had soil and ash on the same belt. Not to mention if I just do, yeah, let's do stackers here. Now, I don't remember how many we need. I think it's 2. If I do it this way. Not totally sure about that. Okay, so this is currently stacked ash on the top side of a red belt. Doesn't need to be a red belt. But sure, I guess it is now. And then we need to find where the soil is. It's over there. Okay. All right. So then this comes up, over, up and down, and then it just meets with the stacked. The soil's already stacked. So then that can just be a belt over here. That's actually super easy. Barely an inconvenience, they say. Oops. Because remember, this can do 60 items a second, which is 30 on each half. No, that doesn't need to be upgraded. I mean, technically, we're coming in. No, the soil does need to be, yeah, 38, which is 10 a second. Actual items, which is a red belt. Yeah, we need a red belt for this. We need a red belt for this. Alright, and then that'll go there. To there. To there. To there. There. Okay. I guess to keep it consistent, I should have that up one. All right. Okay, that should do it for that. And now that's fine because it's side loading, so that works out okay. And because it does batches of 16, we should be good to go. The real problem is going to be when we upgrade stacking again. What's it called? Belt capacity again. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. When we get to capacity 5, it'll do 5551. So again, we're gonna have to do that weird thing where like the building only outputs, or the belt only runs when the buildings are backed up. But how does that work? Wait a second. No, that doesn't even work. Because these buildings are going to dump all of their stuff. And the belt's going to flow. What if you had each belt segment? This is such an interesting, like my gut is saying this works. My brain doesn't know if it works. What if you connected up each belt and you only ran each belt if those two buildings both had a surplus? Would that properly work without delaying everything and without having non-full stacks? My gut says it would. My gut says that would work. Unfortunately, I can't actually investigate at all right now. I guess if there's another... What's the limestone recipe? No, see, that's 8. It's 8 and 16, so it's really unfortunate. I can't test it right now. I could use a different building, I guess. Is there another building that outputs like that? Does the solid separator output like that? No, that one doesn't have an output. There is another building that has the output like that. What is it? I don't remember which one it is. Is it the sand extractor? Sand extractor's got one. There you go. It makes 15 here. So that would be 4443. So we could test it with rich dust if we wanted to. I'm really curious about that. Maybe once we're done with this, I'll test that. Okay, so now we need stone brick, wood, and iron. So wood and iron can go on the same belt. Where's this wood going? Oh, it was fueling. Oh, that's beautiful. I can remove that. I can completely remove that. That was just fueling this stupid, whatchamacallit. The old burner assembler. So I don't need to worry about that anymore. And so yeah, we've got wood and iron. Now this is a maximum of 7.5 times 4, 30 wood. Is that enough? Probably. Just gonna simplify things a bit here. So much flora. Yeah, I'll keep this. I'm gonna get rid of it soon. All right, so we're getting there. We're getting there. So wood and iron are here and here, and then that comes down, joins up with this. There's wood and iron. And then we're gonna have the whatchamacallit. Where's our red belt? Stone brick on this guy. Loader. And loader and stone brick is where? Stone brick is here. That's gonna be stacked. So it doesn't need to be a red belt. Interesting. I think. Wait, we're not currently stacking. How many bricks did we need? 26. So if I upgrade the speed on this, we're gonna need stacked bricks. And ash is stacked, which is fine, but bricks are not. That's fine. For now, let's just build upgrade. No, let's be consistent, Krydax. Let's be consistent. We'll get the stone brick stacked. And then the wood and iron, which is here. We'll go. Why don't I just do this? And then this can go like this way. And this, and then the input that we need on wood and iron is quite large, so we actually do need a stack, whatchamacallit as well. A loader. I didn't think about that. Did not do that very elegantly, but that's okay. Good enough, I say. Well, holy crap. There goes. She lives! Look how fast they're going. Oh, I love it. Crafting speed of 4. Using up all my power. Fine, I still have a few gigawatts to spare. Alright, and then finally this belt somehow finds its way up to there. So let's see if we can finagle that right now. Oh, it's this belt right here. Okay. We can stack stone brick with a stacker there and there as well if we want to. So let's just do that now. Oh, no, not out food. Ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. Alright, so those both go. Wait, no, that can just be an actual both sides situation. Alright. That should do it. I think we're jamming. Now I'm a little worried about train input rates and such. What are my request amounts here? 161 total stack, so I got some leeway here. So let's station control, because I don't want 40 stacks of AUG food, nor do I want 40 stacks of logs. But what I do want is 40 of everything else. So we'll go to 58, more than doubles my buffer. Let's just go to even more than that. Whoa, not that much. 60. Yeah, we're still good. And then small parts, 60. Ash. Ash can be less because that's 1,000 each. So 52 is 12,000 buffer. 273 on 288. Perfect. And stone. Which one do we need more of? Stone brick or ash? Oddly, they're about the same. Now I need 40 soil. That's definitely not happening. So finally, also, is this enough wood? Yeah, I think it is. So for the soil, grade these bad boys. Yeah, that doesn't... Wait, it does know they're about to be upgraded. Oh, nice. I needed 40, so I only really need... Oh, and hold on, they're gonna have even more speed modules. Wow, PRCE even knows the incoming upgrade planner. That's actually really helpful. So I only need 3 of these. Well, 3 pairs of them, that is. However, they're gonna need 2.16 thousand water, which is gonna need another 4 of these. I'm really not worrying too much about this. I guess that one's actually going to be in the way of a rail network at some point. Okay, sweet. So once that rolls in, I think we're good to go. Maybe. Is this enough flora? I don't think it is. Gotta upgrade some flora extractors here. And I can probably get a pretty good beacon situation. Let's see, a 1-1 has a distribution effectivity of 10%, right? Yeah, so that would only give 4%. I really need like a 2-2, maybe? Oh, it needs to be on these ones, sorry. These ones are for the AUGs. This is for the... Yeah, what if I did like a 1-3? Surely that's still pretty cheap in terms of power. Yeah, it's only 13 megawatts. And that's equivalent to 0.6 modules, which is how many speeds? 6 times 4 is 24%. So that's... Oh, hold on. Can I cancel? It's these ones I need to upgrade. Anyway, that's adding 24% each, which is equivalent to multiplying, you know, by 1.24 how many buildings I have. Not quite true for the ones that I end up adding modules to, but that's fine. These ones get extra. And I believe I've queued up floor collectors in the auto mall. Yeah. Yep. Okay, mechanical part. I just want to make sure all of these expensive things are fully prodded. Latex isn't. We know SAM is, because we just checked on that. What about ASPs? ASPs, Advanced Small Purts. Where are my Advanced Small Purts? The Purts are... I thought they were down in this region. Maybe they're up further. I really thought they were bottom right, but I'm not finding them. Oh, also we got some modules to reclaim there. I don't know where they are. Okay, we have fully prodded it. Good. Just making sure. Okay, so the soil still isn't happening. Gosh, bots have to go a really long way sometimes. That is rough. It'll help with tier 2 bots. Maybe I move towards that soon. Oh, but that needs super steel. That's right. So that's still a little bit away. We're still working on catching up with all our pYanodons stuff. Speaking of, are there any other pYanodon things we still really need? Oil power, no. Biomass power, no. Geothermal power, no. Well, how much more power do we get? Surely it's worth queuing up. So we get to a... I'm not really sure. We'll have to look at it. It probably doubles it. That's my guess. So a geothermal plant has no modules. Can it be affected by speed beacons? Let's go find out. And why are these not running at all? I broke it. Yeah, hold on. I figured that out. Don't worry. Those of you that were screaming at your screen, don't worry. We got there. Figured it out. Alright, so geothermal, can it be affected by speed beacons? That's question number 1. There is a geothermal somewhere messing with a railway. So where's the squiggle? Right there. So we're going to find out about this, and if it can be affected by speed beacons, there's got to be some optimal amount of beaconage where you're making more power than you're spending. Now there is a place I could use prod to, is this cyanic, the melamine, and melamine resin. Like 1 beacon plus like 3 of each building or something. Okay, so beacon speed is not doing anything. Okay. That's kind of what I assumed. I just wanted to double check. So this guy is getting 400 geothermal water a second, and then right now we're turning 600 geothermal water into 500 degree steam. The next recipe gets us 75,000 degree steam, but pressurized steam, which has a much higher heat capacity, right? Of 8 kilojoules versus... So it's 4 times more energy dense, and it's 2 times the temperature. So it's 8 times the power, but it's 1/4 as much. So I was correct, it is double the power. So then, how much is 400 geothermal a second? I don't think it's actually that much, unfortunately. So we're looking at 1,000-degree pressurized steam coming from geothermal water, wherever that recipe is. That one. And so we're looking at 400, right? So, okay, I mean, it's a free 400 megajoules, or megawatts. I guess that's not that bad. That's not that bad. And it's a much simpler build because we don't need all the weird steam engines and stuff. And I can use a heat exchanger Mark 1 as well for it. So, I mean, it's free power is the thing. The problem is we can't. It's going to be scaling power. What I'd really like is to have it be always on. There's just no way to do that without piping all of the steam to a central network and then using circuit controls to turn them on or off. There's no way to prioritize like steam turbine Mark 1s. I would kill for a mod. I just don't think it's possible. Probably if it is possible, it's with a ton of scripting and bad for performance. But I don't even know if it's possible, period. Maybe it is. It sort of is, because there's like 3 priorities in the base game. There's solar, there's steam, and then there's like accumulator. I think there's 3 total. And so what you could do is I want to be able to click on things that actually produce the power output to the network. I want to be able to click on this. It opens a little GUI, and I can just click on a button 1, 2, or 3. You know, and it's like I want this to be power priority 1, meaning it always runs flat out before it even touches anything on the normal priority layer, which is what solar does, right? Solar outputs its full power before steam engines get touched, and that's how I want some steam engines to operate, but not all steam engines. Now, Nullius had an elegant solution for this that I actually think Pi could use as well. I don't know if there's the question of is it worth it, but they just added a second entity. So instead of there being just one high pressure steam turbine, there's 2. There's a high priority high pressure steam turbine Mark 1 and a normal priority. And the high priority, just literally it's the same exact building, but it's internally set up to be the same priority as a solar panel. So it will run before the regular priority ones. And that's what you would want to hook up to something like geothermal. So I don't know, that's generally an idea, but yeah, this will be a nice little change. We can get 400 megawatts from each geothermal. That's still not that much power. I mean, we're talking all 4 of these together is still only 1.6 gigawatts. All 5 of these is 2 gigawatts. It's free, but it's still just not very much power. Ooh, that was close. That was so close. Man, I've had so many close calls with trains. Why is this alarm going off? You know what? We'll push that can down the road further. Okay, so let's see if science is still running. If it is, we did something right. Okay, cool. Wait, did I math wrong? 2400, 2160. Something's wrong. Oh, I get it. Yeah, I see it. Okay, that'll get fixed. All right. So automation science. So we were at 113, very stable for most of the last 10 hours. This was back when we were having stone issues here and here. And now we are at 300, so we more than doubled. And we can improve further with another beacon if we really want to, but I think this is going to be good enough for now. Right now we're doing 26 a minute. Yeah, we're only using about 3 a second right now, so we should be good. Okay, I was gonna test the behavior, the stacking thing. I was curious about that. So we need some sand extractors. And a place with some iron sticks. Which... the auto mall's right here. So... let's see if this strategy actually works. So the strategy was, if I channel 1 stick, yeah, so the question is, if I wire up each of these, and we should be seeing a total of 6 a second rich dust. So let's do our 10 sec averager. Copy, parameterize that to rich dust. Okay. Click. And then read belt hold. Okay. So now my theory. Well, wait a second. Because these aren't going to fill up the belt, so that's not going to do anything, even if they're not full stacks. Because this is going to go 4, 4, 4, 3, unfortunately. Would it be better to do... yeah, this would be 4, 4, 2, so that's actually a better... sand is a better option. It's also cheaper, less sticks to waste. So then... so it'll go 4, 4, 2, 4, 4, 2, 4, 4, 2. That's an average of 3.33. I would need so many of these to actually test this. Can I just do it with modules? Maybe with some beacons for a short period of time. Because we need 22 a second. Okay, we're getting there. I bet if I do like 5, 3, it'll work. Nope, not quite. It's fine. We'll just waste all the power. 5, 4. 24 second. Okay, so these actually output more than the full belt. No, we're still not there. We need to go up a tier. Oh, I don't have sand extractor tier 2. Well, it's a good opportunity for that. Sand extractor. For science, probably only gonna need a few of those at a time. Okay. This is very much a for science situation. I will be able to slow these down a little bit. Once those are tier 2 buildings. So the question is, I mean, first of all, enable if rich dust is greater than 20. Yeah. And we're reading contents. I mean, I don't know if this is gonna work, but let's start and see what happens. Oh, shoot. Sand is now my object. Bop, 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 bop. Why is this one not running? How did that not get sticks in? Oh, it must have been the... Oh, the bots? I don't know. Okay, so this is having the intended effect that only full blocks get through. Nope, there's a partial. Or maybe not, I can't tell what that is. Seems to be working. So 4 times, we should be getting exactly 30. We're up to 29 here. 29.1, 29.2, 29.3. $29.7. Ah, seems to be working. 29.87. 29.9. Oh no, we lost some. Oh, it's because I ran out of sticks. Shoot. Here, let me get some prod in there. I think it's working. I think the system works. Like, it's allowing for a full belt. And if things were slower, let's test that. If things are slower and we can't manage a full belt, this should be 13.2. But it should be 13.2 with only full stacks, is what we should see. It's gonna take a second to empty out. Interesting. This is actually really cool. It almost feels like magic. Huh. Very cool. Well, my gut was right. Good job, gut. It felt like a weird idea, and it sure looks weird when it's operating, but it seems to work perfectly. Seems to work perfectly. I mean, this is fluctuating a bit because it's like little spurts, but it seems to be centering around the 13.2. I mean, they're all running all the time, so yeah, I don't know. It works. Crazy. Crazy stuff. All right, well, that was a fun experiment, not gonna lie. Science. All right, now get rid of all this. Okay. Cool. Now what? Now what? Proof smelters to Mark II. Let me just Let me just check. Do our due diligence. But none of these... Are we making antimony over here yet? Well, where is it? Ah. No, because I'm not putting molten lead. Because I need to remake lead. I need to do lead 3. That's what I was waiting for. I guess lead 3 is a coming. Lead and silver 3. Maybe that should be our next, like, actual research into a new thing. Yeah, I think I'll pull the trigger on that. Because we've needed it for a while. We decided this solder's not actually good, right? Yeah, the only reason you would do that is if you had extra silver because of the way we're making lead combined with silver. Sometimes we'll have silver extra. Though I don't know how often we'll actually utilize that. Anyway, because there's another way you could finagle it so that you don't end up with silver, I think. But... multi-purpose pipes. Did we ever research those? I did. Okay, let's get those made. Silver stage 2, yeah. Redo autosci, there we go. That was actually on our list. Didn't even realize. FBRs, we did that. Sweet. Okay. And then other smelters, ferrochrome. Over here, bunch over here. Yeah, none of these can use prod. Okay. So that's just a matter of time. I also haven't looked at our LTN inventory for a bit. How are we doing? Fatty acids are a problem. Gravel's a problem. Now that I didn't see coming. And fiber. Still graphite too. No, okay, never mind. Fiber and gravel. Interesting. Yikes on the circuits too. But yeah, what were we out of? Let's find out. And we do need to call it an episode soon. We were out of... Way, go away. Oh, antimony pulp 2. Alright, well, we already kind of knew we were struggling with antimony 4, so that makes a lot of sense. But it's also running, so whereas it wasn't for a long time. So I have a feeling I can leave it alone now. It's only been back up for 7 hours, and it's only been like at the improved rate for 2.5. So I have a feeling I can leave it alone and it'll be okay. I'm gonna keep ignoring that for now, and maybe it'll bite me in the butt later. But we're just gonna say good enough. Okay, so now I need to make all the types, and I am gonna do them in a burner assembler here because it's just so much smaller, and there's no productivity with it. So we're doing the straight underground, the L underground, the T underground, the 1 to 2, 1 to 1. And because we're going to be using bots for these, I will also do the 1 to 3 and the 4-way junction. All right, and we need plastic, rubber, and these guys. So I'm just gonna go channel 1, channel 1. Each of these needs 5 fiber. And then do this. And then this. $1 million automation packs. Wow, that's a lot. All right, these need to be channel 1. Which one do we need more of? The segments, this one. This one we don't need as much of. All right, power, and then let's see. And yes, I do see it, if you're wondering. We did have a train stock indicator. Oh, it's gone. Interesting. All right, 30. 30. I'll upgrade that one. The rest are not going to matter. And let's start with all of these being restricted to one stack, and then I'll go from there. And we really should control these guys rather than the stacks, because stuff ends up in storage. And remember, this is something a lot of players actually are wrong about. I've run into it so many times on the Reddit. A lot of Factorio players think that construction bots will prioritize storage chests over passive provider chests. That's not true. That's how logistics bots work. Construction bots, well, I think construction bots will prioritize if they're being logistics, like if they're moving items around. But if they are building entities, if they're doing a construction task, then they will prioritize the closest. I don't know if it's closest to their path or closest to their destination or some weird mixture of that. I don't know how it works. All that I know is that a lot of players have it wrong, and they think that, oh, I can just fill this up with 50 and the ones that get deconstructed will end up in storage chests, so it'll always end up using the stored ones first, and then it'll come here when it needs more. It's like, no, you could end up, it could always request from here, the bots could always pick it up from here, and you could end up with thousands in storage, depending on the location of where various things are. So yeah, it's weird. I'm gonna do 100 of these. 50 of those is fine, 50 of those is fine. And then okay. Sorry, I was counting as I did that. All right, finish out this. So this guy, we'll do 200 of these. These ones I use a lot of. These ones, these ones I do use a lot of, but not like at the same time. I don't think I'll need more than 50, but that means we'll do 100, because it's like, this is just rubber and plastic. Like a few hundred rubber and plastic is nothing to me. And why wouldn't I want to always have enough of these buffered up for various projects? So we'll go, I'm going 50 higher than I think I'll ever need. and that should be more than good enough. All right, that's it. No other things needed. Sweet. Anyway, all that to say, yeah, just be careful when you're dealing with construction bot priority stuff. It doesn't work the way you think it does. And it is a bummer. I wish there was a way to control that somehow. I don't know how you would control it. Like, I don't know what they would give you control over. Would it be like per entity or per item type? Or would it be overall globally? Like, you can just allow construction bots to prioritize storage first or not? I think in my case, I would like them to prioritize storage. There's actually two settings I would change. I want construction bots to prioritize stored items above passive provided items when constructing entities. It means they'll take longer to get there, but they already take long to get there. I'm doing a global network, whatever, who cares? Like, I'd much rather just have the logic work the way I want it to, rather than they get to the build it slightly faster. Because that's not the priority for my base. It might be the priority if you're dealing with like defenses on the front lines or whatever, but definitely not the priority here. The other thing I would change about bots and their behavior is that I want... Oh, shoot, I lost it. I was just thinking about it a second ago and it's gone now. I would like for bots to be able to do what? What was I going to say? This one was the bigger deal, actually. I've talked about it before. It had to do with... What did it have to do with? Construction networks. Not personal bots, though I've talked about that one too. What was it? Oh, storage. I would like bots to be able to prioritize the closest. See, it's funny. It's backwards. I want construction bots to just drop items in the nearest unfiltered storage. I don't want them to go find a storage that matches. I don't care about my chests matching. And they're taking way longer to deconstruct trees and rocks because they're going and finding like, oh, there's this one chest way over here that has some rocks in it. We got to fill that up. And I think that's really annoying. I'd rather just have them drop, like, I want my storage chests that are unfiltered to basically be dump chests for my robots. And that's a behavior that's actually a bigger issue. That one can cause a lot of inefficiencies for bots. And I don't love that. Also, I was gonna check this. Can any of these do prod? This one can. Oh, but that's not. The lead acetate is just... Wait, what is this lead acetate even for? Oh, for the antimony pulp. Okay. But that only saves us hydrogen peroxide, which is not even that expensive anymore. So prodding that is not really that useful. We can prod the antimony oxide output from this. That's interesting. Which would... Yeah, that could be worth doing with a beacon. Because tier 2 buildings, beacon, efficiency... Prod spends so much fuel though, I would need coal briquettes for that. Using prod modules on a burner building is just a recipe for insane amounts of power usage because they're plus 120%. And then you need to do some speed to balance out the prod. Even if you just do one of each, now you're looking at plus 220%. And not that much more speed to compensate. Plus 220% and only plus 15% speed. So then a beacon with like minus 60% is still, the building's still using more than twice as much power. Even with a beacon that's doing distribution efficiency of 1, taking away 60% power. Okay, multi-purpose pipes is done. I'm just gonna delete this one. I'm gonna do that as needed. I don't really need to worry about that. T2 mycology buildings. Ulrich 2s. Sweet syrup composting. Alright. This is gonna take a long time to get buffered. Probably like a couple hours. But once it's buffered, I don't think we're gonna have any issues. Because like, even though this is only producing maybe 1 a second than a long-term average, that means we're getting a pipe every few seconds. And like, how many pipes am I actually building per hour? You know what I mean? Not that many. Like if I look at, here, this is a good example. Like if I look at this, I'm using 5 a minute. That's actually a helpful analogy. It's more because it's spiking up right now, but yeah, about 5 a minute. And I'm producing like 2 a second. So that should be plenty for a long time to come. All right, well, I think we need to call it an episode here. This was an effective one. We got our science all built up, and didn't I build something else too? Oh, I guess I tested the stick thing. I feel like we've upgraded some more stuff. I was gonna look at upgrading latex with prod. Can I fit a beacon in here without any work? Wait. I can definitely fit a beacon in if I do a small rebuild. How much do I care? I don't. I've got 4 second rubber available. I've been using 2 a second, so it's only getting half utilized right now. I don't think we need prod for it yet. And latex, I guess that would save us some formic acid too. So that's worth something, because that's saving me some ammonia. Interesting. Well, I guess the easier fix, what is this, 10 buildings, 8 buildings? So let's see, if we go to, I guess it depends on which beacon I pick. Oh, that's unfortunate. So if we do this, we can get 4 buildings affected. And then if I go 4-2, that's adding like 70% speed. Let's just go 3-2. 1 more buildings. All right. I'm gonna delete probably more buildings than I should. Not that one. I'll upgrade these 4. Okay. So there's a lot more formic acid right there. There's 45% more formic. No work. That was easier than the latex. We can do the latex another time. Prod on latex. And these can't do prod. Man, I love this base. This is just so chill. The Zen Garden experience is really working for me. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm having a ton of fun, feeling really solid about how this has all gone. Oh yeah, I need to upgrade these. Now this is an exciting part. More cyanic is a big deal. And then... Are we gonna need... This is like a lot of cyanic. And I'm guessing we're still wasting blood. This is a 4-2. What if I did a... I don't know, a 3-1. And... I feel like I need charcoal briquettes for this. You know, I might actually switch these over to charcoal. Yeah, let's do it. Same spent fuel result, shouldn't cause any issues because this is only a belt with those things on it. So once all the raw coal is used up, it'll switch over to the coal. That'll be a good test, actually. I'm excited. Sorry, I had to sneeze. I'm excited to see kind of how that fares. And let's do it. Let's go and see how bad this actually is. If we just go for it and we make this like a 3-3. Oh god, it's gonna be horrendous. I've got it. Well, in for a penny, in for a pound. Actually, with prod, speed might be better than efficiency. Let's see, this is urea. Again, I don't understand the lag with the hell mod there, but whatever. So if we've got prod in here, and I've got 2 beacons, and the first one is a 4-2 with double speed, and then the second one is a 3-3. Speed is 12.7, speed efficiency. Oh, I'm dumb. Wait. I need to be looking at this number. Sorry. Speed is 3.428. Speed efficiency is 3.519. Yeah, speed is actually more productive. It's so weird how that works. Once you've added prod modules in, efficiency modules just suck. Total butts. Total butts. So full speed ahead is actually more fuel efficient. It's super weird like that. Okay, and then we're gonna belt upgrade. I like how I said I was gonna be done with the episode, right? I'm gonna belt upgrade this. Put those both there. I don't know how much that will actually improve. I guess it'll get us a full, mostly on average, a fully compressed, you know, it'll be like 29 a second or so urea. And then yeah, and then most of that gets turned into cyanic. It's still only 16.4. Alright. Let's just double it. Double it. Was that a Todd Howard thing? Or Blizzard? Is it Todd Howard? No, Todd Howard's the Skyrim guy, Bethesda guy. I think it was a Blizzard thing, was like double it again. There's some meme a while back. Can this be a 5-1? Am I being dumb? Sure can. 5-1 it is. Get even more speed. Yeah, so that'll consume a full red belt of urea to make maximized urea decomposition here. And then... how do I do this? Like, I want there to be some way for this to average out better. Okay, what's our full speed, by the way? 26.78, not bad. When you add in the ash, that is a full belt. Okay, so what I'm thinking... this is a little weird, but hear me out. How does it work? I think it works like this. Have you guys ever done this? It's like a rate limiter that's going to work based on amount, because we're buffering up to 8K here. So what I want, we'll do output priority right, input priority right, is if urea is greater than 4,000, we're gonna disable. I said that backwards, but we're only gonna enable this if urea is low. Otherwise, it will be forced to flow along the slower belt, which will cause us to essentially only fill this up at 15 a second, which means even when a train comes and picks up urea, we'll still have a good amount that can go to cyanic production. Now, the other way to do that, sort of, would be to turn off the priority, but then the problem with that is if urea is empty, it would still go half to cyanic, and we don't want that. So we actually do need priority to go right, but we want the rate to be lower than 30 if this is mostly full anyway. Because what's happening is we're going off and on and off and on for the cyanic production, and we'd like cyanic production to just be consistent instead. I also didn't check the pipe connections at all for this. Yeah, I figured they were wrong. Hey, look, we found our first spot. Where do they live, by the way? Oh, they have their own. We found it. We found the spot where we need one of these already. Look at that. Look at that. And then, so that'll connect the ammonias. What will connect the ureas? Those are already connected. Perfect. All right, what is this alert and why is it going off? Power actually low? Uh-oh. Yep. Wait, that shouldn't be a thing, right? Are these not plugged in? Something seems wrong here. Oh, that might be the problem. No. Wait, we have too much molten salt? Oh. I guess 10K is not a big enough buffer. Alright, we'll just add another buffer then. Yeah, because that's not even an actual problem. I don't know what's going on with that, but interesting. I guess when we added more of these buildings, they each buffer 1,000. So overall, we've got 12,000 in and up to like 20,000 out. Yeah, I'm gonna add another one even, just to make sure there's enough. And this shouldn't run anymore. It only fills it up to 10%, and those three together will bring that down to 3,000. So we should be fine on the buffer. And that's at 13K, that's at 2K, but that's not counting what's in all the buildings, which is a lot. That's up to like 30K. I think that's where the issue's coming from. Gosh, power's actually going out. Hold on, hit the button. Hit the button. Hit the button here. How far away is the bot? With that tank? I think it'll get fixed immediately once the tank gets here. Alright, he's coming. And then we'll call it an episode after that. I always say I'm gonna be done and then I can't do it. I just can't do it. Alright. Here we go. Much better. Still filling up. Oh my gosh. Yeah, just to be super safe, I'm gonna add another 30, so that'll get us at about 60,000 capacity, which I think is more than enough. Because 12, that gives 5,000 in and out capacity for both. And the basic oxygen furnace shouldn't add anything, so. But yeah, it was basically keeping a bunch of these from running, which is interesting. I thought the new pipe system would fix that, but it clearly doesn't evenly draw from buildings. Green is stuck. Alright, well I can at least upgrade these two. It's about the best I can do though for right now. The only thing else I could do is unload on the other side. But this chest is in the way, so I'd have to move that around. We're also out of iron plate for some reason. I might need another train station. I think it's just too many items per second. Now that I'm thinking out loud about it, I think we have way too many items per second flowing into this station. I probably need stone brick to come to a different one. I'm gonna do a little bit of a crime. It's not that bad because it's still just a 90-degree inserter. I'm not doing like weird tiny angles. Just to get a few more items a second here. Uh-oh, that's gonna make things worse for a second. Well, oh well. Need another 8 items a second. All right, so anyway, hopefully this is all back to normal now. Yes, much better. There we go. Well, that's why we have that indicator. It did its job. Nice work, indicator. I'm actually gonna make it like 4,000. So it turns on a little bit sooner. Yeah, easy peasy. All right, well, now I think we're gonna be done with the episode. Oh my goodness, classic Krydax. As always, here the bots come. Nope, that's a different set. They're gonna take a while. As always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see y'all in the next one.